Hello, this is Rick Wallace. We're going to talk today about price. Price is a part of and a big lever as far as gross margin percentage is concerned. And as we know, gross margin percentage and the productivity of our people are the two huge levers that we have for affecting our profitability of our company. Gross margin's made up of three different elements. One is, of course, price. Another is the cost of either manufacturing or buying those products and services. And third is, of course, the mix. You probably have a mix of different products and services, some of which carry higher gross margins than others. And the more of those we sell, of course, the more the overall gross margin of our business goes up. Gross margin again is our revenues minus our cost of goods sold, and that equals our gross margin. So what I have here is a simple spreadsheet, and we're going to talk about price because price is very, very critical. Um, I would say that probably in my experience, 80 to 90% of people in small businesses underprice their products and services. Um, that we price sometimes to the wrong people. In any market, there are 25 to 30% of any market, whether it's buying refrigerators, cars, or IT services or accounting work, that people go and buy just on price. They're just price buyers. They're not going to look at other value that you bring to them. They're just looking for a price. And if you're not getting pushback on your pricing 15-20% of the time at least, you are priced too low because you're pricing yourself to take care of this low end of the marketplace that just buys on price, that's not going to be loyal, that's going to suck your resources up, that's going to leave you as soon as they find a better deal. So where you want to set your price is you want to set your price equal to or slightly less than the value you're bringing to the people that don't buy strictly on price. So hopefully you have some differentiation, quality, product, service, whatever it is, you have some differentiator that in the marketplace that there's a group of individuals out there, customers out there who value what you do that's different. And we need to price our products and services at that level. We don't want to attract these price buyers, and we certainly don't want to leave all this profitability on the table because we've priced our products to satisfy the low end of the market. So let's look at price for a moment. And this is a spreadsheet that allows you to do some what ifs and understand the power that pricing has on your bottom line. So in this case, we have $105,000. We have $100,000 here, which was the last 12 months. That's what we sold in widgets. $50,000 in cost of goods sold. So our gross margin was $50,000, which is 50%. All our other expenses were $45,000, and then that gave us a pre-tax profit of 5% or $5,000 on the $100,000 sales we had with a gross margin of 50%. So the rest of this is, let's just start from scratch and say that we didn't raise pricing and that we sold $100,000, the same amount. Everything was equal. So this over here shows you widgets or units and how they change as we change the price and the volume that we sell in the next 12 months. So in this case, everything's equal. So let's say that we raised the price 5% and we only sold $100,000, so we stayed flat with that. Shows that because this should have been, if we would have sold the same number of widgets, it would have been $100,000 plus our 5% increase, or $105,000. So in this case, we actually sold 5% less widgets. However, our profitability was up 50%. So a 5% change in our price created a 50% change in our pre-tax profit, even though we sold 5% less product. So let's say that we sold $105,000, in other words, equal. We sold the same number of widgets in this year that we did in this year, but with a 5% increase. Look at the increase in profitability. It doubled, more than doubled your profitability of your company. So that's the power. You can also do this with negative. So let's say a lot of people believe if I drop my price, I'm going to sell more, and I want to sell more. So if we dropped our price 100 by 5% and still kept our sales equal, that would mean that we sold 5% more widgets. Um, yeah, 5% more widgets, but our profitability was cut in half. So that 5% change. Well, let's say that we do sell more. Let's say that we sell $105,000. That would be a 10% increase and about a break even. So we'd have to, if we dropped our price by 5%, we'd have to grow 10% in sales and widgets and units to be able to break even. So that shows you the power of pricing, and this is, you can download in the course and look at it, put your own numbers in here and do some what ifs. And the reason for this is I think it shows you the power of pricing and allows you to do some testing. When you want to move up on a price, people think, oh, well, I have to do that. I'm going to lose business and all this kind of stuff. Well, you can test things. You don't have to lose the business, but you can test pricing against the marketplace until you start getting that pushback. And then when you start getting that pushback, you don't have to lose that deal. You can work with that person and get the price where it needs to be if you want that customer. But you'll find the limits of where your pricing can be. I hope this helps, and download the program and look at it and do some testing. But look at price, because price can have a huge difference in the profitability of your company.